Gregory Hunt is scheduled to be executed by nitrogen hypoxia on June 10, 2025, in Alabama. This marks the state's fifth use of this controversial execution method and the third execution in Alabama this year. Hunt was convicted for the 1988 beating death of Corinne Lane, with whom he had been in a brief relationship. Lane was found dead in her Cordova apartment, having sustained approximately 60 injuries, including 20 to the head. A jury convicted Hunt of capital murder in 1990 and recommended the death penalty by an 11-1 vote. Prosecutors presented evidence that Hunt admitted to the killing while in jail. Hunt's attorneys sought to delay the execution, arguing that a recent U.S. Supreme Court decision could impact his long-standing claim that his conviction was based on false or misleading evidence. However, the Alabama Supreme Court authorized the execution, and Governor Kay Ivey confirmed the date. The murder committed by Hunt will be traced back to 1988 when Corinne Lane, a 29-year-old woman with a promising future, lived a quiet life in Cordova. She was a single mother, loved by friends and co-workers, and respected in her community. But in the summer of 1988, her life intersected with Gregory Hunt, a man who would ultimately bring it to a violent end. Gregory Hunt and Corinne had a brief romantic involvement. According to court testimony, their relationship was volatile. Corinne, known for her independence, reportedly ended the relationship, which prosecutors say triggered Hunt's violent retaliation. On the night of August 17, 1988, Hunt entered her apartment and attacked her. Corinne Lane's body was discovered the next morning. She had been savagely beaten with a blunt object. Autopsy results indicated she had suffered over 60 separate injuries, with at least 20 direct blows to the head. Blood spatter suggested a prolonged, frenzied attack. There were signs of a struggle, and neighbors reported hearing screams but no one intervened. Gregory Hunt spent over 30 years on death row at Holman Correctional Facility in Atmore, Alabama. His appeals wound through the courts for decades. During that time, he maintained that his trial was unfair and that no evidence could exonerate him. He claimed that crucial witnesses were never heard and that the jailhouse confession was coerced or fabricated. As the years passed, his case drew occasional attention from anti-death penalty advocates who believed his long wait on death row, combined with the method of execution proposed, constituted cruel and unusual punishment. Despite these appeals and legal maneuvers, the Alabama Supreme Court upheld his sentence. On April 19, 2025, Governor Kay Ivey signed the order confirming Gregory Hunt's execution date to be June 10, 2025. Prosecutors later introduced jailhouse testimony that Hunt had confessed to the crime while in custody. His statements reportedly included chilling details only the killer would know. In 1990, Gregory Hunt was tried and convicted of capital murder. The jury voted 11-1 in favor of the death penalty. His defense team attempted to argue diminished capacity and emotional instability, but those arguments failed to sway the court. Gregory Hunt's attorneys filed emergency motions to halt the execution. They cited the Supreme Court's recent ruling in Reed v. Gortz, which potentially affects Hunt's ability to contest the validity of the evidence used against him, particularly the jailhouse confession. They also argued that the state's use of nitrogen hypoxia amounted to cruel and unusual punishment, violating the Eighth Amendment. Yet these appeals were denied. Hunt is now set to become the second person executed by nitrogen gas, with several others potentially lined up afterward. Unlike the traditional methods of execution like lethal injection, electric chair, or gas chamber, Gregory Hunt will be executed using nitrogen hypoxia, a method that has only recently entered use. In the U.S., nitrogen hypoxia involves replacing the oxygen in a confined environment with pure nitrogen. Without oxygen, the body quickly becomes unconscious and, shortly after, brain death occurs. Human rights organizations condemned the execution, calling it a gruesome experiment. The American Veterinary Medical Association does not even recommend this method for euthanizing animals due to the distress it causes. Despite this, Alabama insists the method is constitutionally sound. The state claims refinements have been made to ensure Gregory Hunt's execution proceeds smoothly. As the execution date nears, Gregory Hunt remains under 24-hour observation. He's allowed limited contact with his spiritual advisor, and on June 9th, he will be offered his final meal. He has reportedly prepared a statement to be read at the time of his execution. Whether he will express remorse, maintain innocence, or call for justice reform remains to be seen. The execution of Gregory Hunt by nitrogen hypoxia marks a pivotal moment in American criminal justice history. It challenges the limits of the Eighth Amendment, draws new battle lines in the death penalty debate, and exposes the moral complexities of how we define justice.